I'm Aden Matthews.
And I'm Zach Snyder.
And welcome back to another YouTube podcast, the show where we talk about anything and everything related to YouTube.
We also want to add a new segment as we're ending the podcast.
Yeah.
Where we talk about a word of the day.
Oh, a little educational value. I like that.
A little educational value. I've pulled up the dictionary.
Okay.
The important one, at least, the Urban Dictionary. Our word today is PogChamp.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So
what's the definition?
We got a couple of different definitions. So number one, it's an emote on Twitch.tv that usually is supposed to symbolize hype or excitement.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Our next one is an amazing human being who is super cool, aka Beth Myers, a famous Minecraft YouTuber.
Weird.
Never,
very specific.
Never heard of Beth Myers, but
me
we'll take what we got. And my favorite one is a PogChamp is someone who gets laid very often, very seldom going more than a few days / a week without having sex.
Damn.
And, if we use that word in a definition or in a sentence, our sentence given here is Charlie Sheen is an absolute PogChamp.
True. You probably do get a lot of bitches, so I can't deny that one at all.
Yeah.
You stay winning, bro. Stay winning.
I'm glad the other one showed up first because there's actually a really lengthy, here's what PogChamp is and here's where it came from and here's some sources. So I'm glad some people are, using Urban Dictionary for good.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't use the meme of the big titty goth girl that goes, "Fine, I guess you can be my little PogChamp." I figured that would have been one of the definitions in there. But
yeah.
Guess not. Guess I'll have to add a paragraph to Urban Dictionary tonight, Get the writing fingers
Go
out.
for it.
Start
I will say there are a ton of definitions on here, so feel free to go add your own, including what Aden just said. And you can also just, put down that we're PogChamps. Other people are doing it from Minecraft YouTubers, so you might as fucking well.
Did Beth Myers start another YouTube podcast? I don't think so.
I don't know. Anyways, what are we talking about today? What's the podcast?
We're talking about everyone's favorite topic, your week on YouTube, in which me and Zach discuss what's been going on the past week or so. And I know we also said that we were done with YouTube news, but we got a little tiny little bit of YouTube news that we're also going to throw in there. Classic Aden going back on his word type shit for real, but
so based.
It's important news. I didn't think we'd get anything important to end out the year.
I agree. No, that's fine.
But we did. So,
everybody talking about it. We're gonna be talking about that YouTube dislike bar being gone. They're getting rid of it.
I can't dislike another YouTube podcast anymore. What am I gonna do?
No, tell me about it.
How will I spend my free time? You still can.
You could spend your free time with our sponsor today.
Oh shit!
Awesome Creator Academy with YouTube Starter Kit.
Let's go.
We don't have too much time left to let you guys know this incredible deal. But if you have $99, you can get over $1,500 of value, dozens of downloads from templates for advanced YouTube thumbnails, channel art, end cards, lowered thirds, royalty-free background music, fonts, and more. Constantly getting new stuff added, constantly being updated. You pay one price, have unlimited access as those future downloads come out. And by doing so, you can check out the link in the description or the show notes. You'll be supporting another YouTube podcast.
But of course, if you don't have the monies lying around, you can support the boys on Anchor. You can donate to us, give us money. It'd be very epic if you did that. You don't have to, since the podcast is ending and all. But
True.
It's a possibility. You can do it for real. And that'd be epic. So thank you, Anchor, and thank you, Awesome Creator Academy. While Zach was reading that, I was looking up the website for Awesome Creator Academy just to see what it looked like. And there's a lot of testimonials from all sorts of channels, like RevMatch, Hack 5, Lila from YouTube. She kind of bad, TBH. Andrew Kahn from TubeBuddy. I see this dude's face all the time.
Oh yeah, I've seen him before.
Ashley, damn, she kind of bad too. And then Elijah, a real homie, for real. So you gotta take that into mind.
It's a great program. Yeah, you know, while we're at the end of our podcast, I will say I owe a lot of my opportunities through video editing to Roberto Blake and the Awesome Creator Academy stuff. I've been in the Facebook Awesome Creator Academy group for like 5 years now. I don't get a chance to spend too much time in there like I used to, but it did give me a lot of opportunities. I got some cool feedback. That's great. So if you're interested in the Awesome Creator Academy group, you can check that out as well. I should have an affiliate link in the description for the YouTube starter kit, but I think when you go to that, you can automatically connect with the other stuff on the website, including that group. You can get like free training, or not free, but you can pay for training with Roberto, get like feedback and all that kind of stuff through a personal coaching session. And then that YouTube starter kit is pretty cool. So
there's a lot of other bundles on here as well. YouTube starter kit's the one we've talked about, but there's also a brand deal starter kit, formula for awesome videos, Creator Academy Pro membership. And then if you want just straight up coaching offers, if you have $6,000 lying around, you can get a premium private coaching package. Up to 9 call package with up to 90 minutes with Roberto. That's kind of insane.
That's pretty cool.
I'm sure cool. He'd be delivering the value on that. So a lot of interesting stuff to check out for sure.
I agree. Just wanted to take a little time. Appreciate Roberto. Appreciate the Awesome Creator Academy. We've been talking about the YouTube starter kit for probably like 80 episodes at this point. It's been a minute.
A lot of them. For sure.
So absolutely appreciate those guys. Anyways, how was your week on YouTube trademark, Aden?
Now, is there a reason you're going with me here? Is there like a motivation exactly?
I'm just making a segue, bro. I'm just, in the sponsor read.
Perhaps and, there's not anything you have to say.
Moving on to the person that's in the call with me. I didn't do anything this week.
What?
I have no YouTube related information. I can't even be like, LOL, I bought a camera, or LOL, I worked on a script. I have quite literally done nothing YouTube related in like a couple weeks.
You did play Peggle. So, did play a good bit of Peggle.
I have played Peggle.
Yeah.
I've beaten the adventure mode in Peggle.
Okay.
Gotten about 40% of the challenges done, so that's cool.
Them bitches hard too. So that takes some
pretty
skill.
tough. Pretty tough, but they're fun. It's a fun game. Will I be making a Peggle video in the future? Who fucking knows? But in all honesty, I've had a lot of personal stuff going on.
Right.
My grandmother is really sick right now. She got COVID. We've got her in a hospice house right now, so kind of just bracing for whatever happens.
Right.
So a lot of my attention has been on that, and then trying to make sure I get my work done so that I can still pay the bills. And YouTube just hadn't been able to be a priority for a few weeks now.
Real life comes first. Gotta take those priorities.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm frustrated about it. I'm always frustrated when I can't do YouTube stuff, but it is what it is. It's not in my control at the moment.
True. Well, not like I have too much to add in terms of shit I've been doing other than editing. Just been editing either the Dark Souls video or a Battle Royale video. Both remakes, of course. One's a little bit more involved than the other, obviously, and that one's a little bit further along. But aside from editing those two things, has not been much going on. Haven't live streamed, haven't gotten Aden on Anchor going in a hot minute. I have an episode like done, but I haven't put in the timeline and rendered it. It's just sort of sat there, and it's not a bad episode either.
Okay.
Like it took multiple attempts to record and shit, but it just be sitting there, and just be forgetting it exists. And I wake up, I'm like, oh yeah, Shit, I'll go do that
I feel
later.
that.
And then it just be sitting there again. So you know how that get for real. Let's see. LHG, nothing on that front. Blue Couch Productions, up to 22 subs. It's kind of cool.
Based?
Got some shout
Couple new
outs
subs from last time I checked.
through the birthday, kind of sharing that
Hell
around
yeah.
in a tweet, trying to let people know how that shit's going. All the videos are like 13 views or higher. They're averaging out a little bit more, which is cool. I just want to
So
put some more
based.
stuff out there, give people an opportunity to keep watching and peeping it, because I like where it's starting for sure, but there's still so much work to do to catch up to where I was at like earlier this year.
Yeah, for sure. I get that. Still happy with all the content you've put out there so far. Still looking forward to what you got cooking up, bro. I'm
Hell
excited.
yeah. I'm gonna try to get like a 2 or 3 bigger videos out before the end of the year, and then
Right.
like I've mentioned 1,000 times, trying to get 30 for 30 up, but getting close to the end of the year, so that's typically
We are.
that's typically when I try to make one final push. Cause I don't be doing shit in January and February. I know how my habits go. Like I'll go pretty intense trying to finish the year out, and then it kind of just deteriorates until about March. Then March, I'm like, all right, let's do more stuff now. Let's start the year off right. But it's crazy to think about, because 2020 was such a super productive year where I had 30 for 30 and a lot of new videos and whatever. And 2021, by comparison, the output has been much smaller. But I put out the Zelda video this year, right? So it's not like
You did.
Not like there hadn't been a noticeable improvement. It's just things be taking longer, Shit just be taking longer.
We've done a lot of talking outside the podcast about and on the podcast really, about how our creative endeavors have, they've gotten more ambitious.
Yeah.
Every new video feels like it's a bigger project than the last, and it's hard to keep up with that and continue putting out the same amount of content that you used to at some point. But you do have the new channel now, which means
new fresh opportunity.
anything can happen.
New opportunity, do whatever the fuck I want, baby.
Absolutely.
We stand.
Absolutely.
I guess I should mention too that because my birthday happened, I am gonna be spending some money on a new microphone and audio interface. Kind of decided that's sort of what I'm doing. But usually what always happens, and the shitty part about having a birthday in early November, is Black Friday is like 2 weeks away. So you're always like, oh, it's my birthday, let me spend money on something. And then 2 weeks pass, and you could have got it at like half the price you spend it on. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Maybe I should like actually wait this time. So that's what I'm doing.
It's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I haven't actually spent said money. It's just sort of been sitting there. But the idea is to see what Black Friday offers, and then you know what? If there's no major deals or anything, that's fine. I can just get it for what I would have got it anyway. It's not like audio interfaces and microphone prices are rising up or getting altered by the pandemic. It's mostly been stable.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Surprisingly, right? Everything else has been going up, but it's
for sure.
You still get some of that basic equipment.
I am still not sure what mic or interface. I have like 2 or 3 options on both ends.
Okay.
But it'll come down to what deals be hitting my page on Black Friday weekend. That'll be the determining factor for sure. But I'm hyped because my audio has obviously improved a lot since getting this mic, the Rode, into USB. But it was always sort of a stopgap. Like it wasn't always going to be the final mic. It was just like, oh, my Yeti broke and didn't sound good, so I need something a little bit better. And I didn't know how XLR mics work, so I just bought this, not knowing. And then now it's like, oh, okay. I kind of want to reach my forever audio solution, at least on the desk. I know with the DSLR and stuff, that's a whole different setup, but we'll get to that later down the road for sure.
For sure. No, I get that completely.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the week. Wish I had more to say, but that's been about it, really.
Yeah, and you mentioned 2021, and I know we're going to be doing a wrap up of the year towards the end of the podcast. We've got a couple more episodes before that. So we can kind of reflect on both of our year, everything we've kind of done at that point.
Right.
But no, I feel you. I feel you. I'm hoping for the last couple of your week on YouTube, I can have something to mention.
Only got
But,
two more.
We only had two more. Yeah. Yeah.
Only got two more.
I'm also kind of just depending on what happens within the next couple weeks. I might just take a brief break, take care of what needs to be taken care of, and then try to push for a bigger January.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Trying to start off the year strong for a change rather than just
That'd be cool.
ending the year off on a big note. It's a different mindset for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Well,
But anyways,
now that we're done
go
with
for
that,
it, bro.
we have a little bit of YouTube news sort of thrown in here last minute, and thank God we did. Otherwise, this would have been a really short episode. But the boys over at YouTube, not wanting to be outdone by Twitch's PR disasters as of late, decided they would step things up a little bit, add a little bit of heat to the fire. They posted a tweet on November 10th, 2021 that says, to reduce targeted dislike attacks and their impact on creators, in parentheses, especially on smaller creators, in parentheses, you'll no longer see a public dislike count on YouTube starting today. The actual dislike button itself is staying, but when you go to a video, you will no longer be able to see what the dislike count is. This is not public for everybody yet. You can notice it on some channels, but a lot of who I watch, I don't see a difference yet. In fact, I see a lot of people disliking good videos just to get one more in there. Like just have one last hurrah. And I'm like, why does this video have so many dislikes? It's just because they're talking about this and want to kind of like stick it to YouTube or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, after about a year of testing and sort of attempting some way to try to get back at this backlash, they decided that the best course of action was to remove the dislike count. And needless to say, some people disliked it. Ooh.
What?
Pun intended. That's crazy. But yeah, people were not happy. So
People are outraged.
they did not.
There's a lot of people that are really pissed at it.
And it's unlike the Twitch thing, where it's kind of like in a bubble, or like the people on the Twitch community are pissed off or whatever. I've seen videos from Mr. Anthony Fantano. I've seen videos from Marquez Brownlee. I've seen videos from like every corner of the internet and these big channels. All
Philip
with
DeFranco mentioned it.
all to the extent of, hey, YouTube, this is bad. Do not do it. I do not like it. And none of them really like discredited that targeted hate attacks don't exist. They most certainly do. Like the post says, especially on smaller creators, it can absolutely be an issue. But I think every video I watched was like, couldn't we also like not throw the baby out with the bathwater and find a solution for this problem while also keeping the dislike count? I don't know. But needless to say, I figured we'd talk about it at the very least because it is a hot button issue, and we're not going to have many of those left before the podcast ends.
This is true. This is our last one. We're not getting any more. Unless something like fucking batshit crazy happens in the next 5 weeks.
Facebook Gaming buys out Twitch or something. It would have to be something on that level, like just something stupid bonkers.
So, like you said, general consensus, a lot of people hate it. I've seen some people that are defending it. Some people can say that, in 6 months, people will forget about the dislike bar. They'll stop complaining about it. It's really just a big thing to complain about now. Mm-hmm. I've seen some people say that it'll be good to help small creators. I've seen some people say it's bad because it's not gonna people that are being canceled. You're not gonna know who's canceled anymore. You're not gonna know who's doing bad things due to the dislike bar. What are your thoughts though? What are your personal beliefs on all this?
So I've watched a couple of takes, and one of the more interesting ones that I didn't even consider at the time was a lot of people use YouTube as an educational tool, right? Mm-hmm. How to, fix the toilet, for example, is probably a really popular video on YouTube just because people be searching up how-to shit all the time. And the problem with searching up how-to content on YouTube sometimes is you'll get people with a good title and thumbnail, but it'll be very shitty information or wrong information or a dude blaring copyrighted music at full volume while trying to describe the tutorial with text. Like classic just issues upon issues, making it hard to discern which tutorial or piece of information is going to be the best. One of the only tools and ways to kind of discern that has always been the dislike bar. If a shitty tutorial comes out and it has a ton of dislikes, then I know that the information in it is probably wrong or invalid. And like you said as well, that this doubly applies to people who are problematic, people on talk shows who be saying lies and shit, and your Alex Jones of the world, you know? Your big corporations like Nintendo, who recently got into hot water about the N64 shit. They just had their most disliked video due to the expansion pack shit. And now it won't be there anymore, and you just really won't be able to tell. And comments are always an option, sure. But not only do they take more work to discern and kind of read through that, I guess, but the moderation tools are a different different issue altogether. So I don't know.
Sure.
I get where they're coming from, 100%. I think hate raids and targeted hate campaigns, especially from offsite like Reddit, are a big thing. Where people just bully people for like things that are out of their control, like their race or the way they speak or their voice, or all that sort of stuff. It's a problem,
100%.
Absolutely, and I wouldn't discredit the attempt, but no, dislikes have and always have served valuable purposes to this platform specifically. One of the key points in the video that YouTube makes is, well, hey, no other platform has a dislike button. Why would YouTube be any different? And it's because like YouTube has long form video content. Instagram doesn't. You know, Reddit doesn't. You need a form of I don't know, like moderation or something to keep that in check. And I feel like dislike bars in general and the ratio from like to dislikes was the cleanest and best way to do it. And now that it's gone, like I don't really know how you get around that without the quality of content getting a little bit diluted along the way.
I think I from what I'm thinking, looking at it from YouTube's perspective, I think they're a little cocky. I think they think that their algorithm is so good at this point that you wouldn't need that dislike bar to discern from a good or a bad video. It's almost like they're saying, oh, well, you're going to look up how to fix a toilet. You're worried about bad
every time.
Right. You're just going to get the right video every time because their algorithm is good enough. Or whenever you get a recommended a video, if you don't like it, you're going to cut off a minute into it, then they're just not going to recommend you those videos anymore. Right. That's what I'm guessing that they're coming from, is because that they don't see the dislike bar as a pivotal part of their algorithm anymore.
Right. The dislikes don't serve an algorithmic purpose, good or bad. They've always just sort of existed separately.
Right.
If anything, they were more positive just because of engagement. But
it was some kind of engagement to begin with, right?
Yeah, I agree. From an algorithm standpoint, this cost YouTube nothing at all. But will it be an adequate replacement, right? I guess that's the question.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily think it is in the short term. I do think in the long term, most people will just forget about it. It's like YouTube used to have the 5-star rating system.
Classic.
Which was cool. I didn't use it too often because I was still young, and I don't even think I had a YouTube account for the first couple of years, right, that I was watching YouTube. But you could rate videos on a 5-star scale. And honestly, I wished it was still like that because I like rating movies and music and games. If I could rate and review YouTube videos, bro, be so epic. But we don't have that. And so all nuance is kind of thrown out the window, and you just have a like button and a dislike button because you could end up disliking the person because you're a hateful human being and you didn't like the individual in the video. You could end up disliking the video because the person making the video was a hateful human being and they deserve to be disliked. Or it could be this person left the wrong frame in a video for like a split second. That's bad craftsmanship. I'm going to dislike. We don't know.
Right.
There is no nuance in it. And I guess the good thing is, as a creator, I'm always concerned with how do people, when somebody watches my video, what do they get out of it? And so love getting comments because that helps me figure out exactly what people liked or disliked about a video. We can still see any dislikes that come in. That's a positive.
Right.
We're still going to be able to see from our end any likes and dislikes a video gets. That way, if one of our videos is bad and it tanks, we can reflect on that and be like, all right, well, we're not going to do that again. It does suck that from a viewer, though, when I do go to find a tutorial on Adobe Premiere thing, and the only video I got is from 2012, how am I going to know whether or not it wastes my time if it's a 15-minute video and I can't tell immediately, right?
Yeah.
Usually the dislike bar helps with that.
Especially for niche topics like that are often
Right.
crafted from a title and thumbnail perspective to be as general as possible, you know?
Definitely.
Or there just isn't enough videos on a specific topic or information. Like, likes and dislikes are helpful. I didn't used to really think about them, I think, until this all came up. Because before I was like, likes, dislikes, I could care less one way or another. You know, comments are a little bit more important to me, given how small both you and I are. Views are obviously pretty important. Likes and dislikes is just kind of like, yeah, I guess they're there. But when all this news came out, the more and more I got to thinking of like, oh yeah, these do kind of serve like inherent purposes in design that I hadn't really considered one way or the other. And I guess it's one of those things, well, now that we're losing it, now I'm like, oh, wait a minute, it was actually epic. I don't know.
They're so cool. It's like the annotation shit.
Yeah. I didn't care about annotations as a kid. I thought they were annoying.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But some people, polls, there used to be YouTube polls, used to be a thing.
True.
Usually when YouTube removes features, it's either because they were very rarely used or like weirdly complicated, you know?
True.
But having a dislike really wasn't terribly complicated at all. This is definitely more a social stance, trying to improve mental health and harassment and how people engage in behaviors on the website. And apparently they have the data to back it up that it's going to be a positive change. So who do we know, right? Maybe, like you said, a year down the road, we're all like, that was secretly a good idea. Man, I'm glad they did that. Because now everything on the website's so much nicer or whatever. But I don't see that happening based on the community I've interacted with on this platform. But maybe, who knows? I can't discredit it entirely.
I also should say that a lot of creators are complaining about this, and we're not really getting that many viewers complaining about it, you know? And most creators are viewers also on the platform, but like from a raw number standpoint, there are way more viewers on YouTube than there are creators. And there always will be.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing on Twitch. It's the same thing on other social media platforms. Which means ultimately YouTube is looking out for their viewers first, which is fine. I get it. You know, if there's no viewers, then nobody's going to, watch our shit. So it makes sense. I did also want to talk about the whole cancel culture issue though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because while I usually am a big proponent of separating the art from the artist, like, if there's a best picture winner in the Oscars and it's a really good movie, but the director was a shitty human being, most of the time I can separate the movie from the director because a bunch of other people worked on the film. If it's really that damn good, then I don't think it matters who is creating it. But when it comes to YouTube, I know people will say the same thing, but I don't know if I can separate art from the artist on YouTube when there's a lot of one-man shows, or
personal
small
brands,
teams, personal brands, So if I get recommended, if I had no idea who Pro Jared was and I got recommended a Pro Jared video about Final Fantasy V and I start watching it, I'm sure the video is done well. I'm sure it's a decent video on Final Fantasy V. But as a person that didn't know or who theoretically doesn't know Pro Jared, I would like to see a massive dislike bar so I can go in the comments and see why people don't like Pro Jared and the shitty things he's done, and then click off the video.
Yep.
And maybe that's wrong on my part for judging somebody on something that I really don't know too much about, and it should be about the content to begin with. But like you said, we're on a platform where the content is so tightly connected to the person making it. It's hard for me to justify watching that kind of content.
You can't expect people to keep up with internet drama if they only watch YouTube videos, right? A lot of these cancel culture stuff starts on Twitter first. And if you are not on Twitter or don't follow it, or God forbid you live a normal life and don't keep up with all this shit,
for real,
the dislike button might be the only shield or way you're going to figure this shit out, you know? A comment could say it, but Pro Jared could go into his account and delete it or ban the term or like whatever. Exactly. The dislike bar always going to be there, or was always going to be there, I guess now. But more in the dashboard, I guess. But yeah, YouTube is almost, we talk about it like it's this big ever evolving platform, but in a way it's kind of a little bit of a walled garden when it comes to events surrounding creators. Unless it's YouTube specific drama, you can't expect people to be on the know when it comes to controversies that originate on Twitter or on stream. If their video content's still the same, you know, some people will just never figure that out. And, you know, is that necessarily a problem with the YouTube dislike bar, or the fact that the community is willing to forgive horrible people? That's a debate in and of itself, right? I don't think we can 100% put the blame on the dislike bar not being there. That's a big social conversation that we've touched on before in previous episodes. It definitely doesn't help, is what I'm saying. It doesn't help contribute anything positive to that.
Right. It's a sticky situation because shitty people will abuse the systems that they're a part of, regardless of what happens. It's why there's so many political discussions about things that have been in our society for so long. But we have these discussions now because shitty people abuse the system, regardless if a thing is good or bad. I will say, alternatively, though, same kind of cancel culture discussion. I do think some people that are in smaller audiences that maybe they made a mistake and they're not being forgiven about it, and maybe it's not that big of a mistake. This might give them a chance to rebound, which would be cool. Or if somebody was falsely accused for something, this might give them a chance to rebound because the dislike bar won't be publicly displayed anymore. If they were, you know, if they had a whole lot of people come in and hidden that shit up.
Because that's definitely an element to it, right? There's the people, when events like this and news comes out, they're the people who are genuinely concerned with the behavior and the actions and take that news, judge it, and then decide whether or not they want to continue to support that person. There's the level-headed side of things. Right. There's also the people that just want to see the Reddit downvote button light up and jump on a bandwagon. Yeah, they want to watch the world burn. They don't care one way or another, right? Yeah. So I guess in that sense, if you take away the firepower, if you take away the epic owning part of it all, and you yourself, the person, have to make that decision rather than just, I'm going to click the dislike bar to make the number go up. Ooh, crazy. Then maybe people would start to have a little bit more of a level head around that sort of stuff. I don't see it happen as much on YouTube as I do places like Reddit and Twitter, for sure. But it should help. It should help on that front. I agree.
All that to say that, like, I don't personally give a fuck. like we said with the Twitch situation not that long ago.
I feel like this is a running theme, Zachary, of all of
I've just passed my point in my YouTube career where I care about every little change, because ultimately I can't do anything to fix the changes, whether they're good or bad. I just got to worry about my content and making it better. Yeah. And so, you know, will this dislike bar thing, will it affect me personally? I don't think so. Is it a good change? I don't know. I don't really know, I think there's positives. I think there's negatives. And I think a lot of people that are fighting for either side are not considering those other positives and negatives too. So
Sure.
it's hate to be a fence sitting motherfucker in the YouTube podcast, but at least on more important discussions, I know where I stand. So that's a good thing.
What would they have to like get rid of for you to be like, all right,
For me to get
YouTube.
pissed?
Yeah. Like,
Oof.
what if they went back to like no
That's a
thumbnail,
good idea.
screenshot from the video, and you just had to do that, or like
No thumbnails would piss me off.
10-minute
For
videos,
sure.
you couldn't go past the 10-minute limit, and had to like
right,
upload it in parts.
right.
Like that'd be too.
That would piss me off too. Just because there's not only are there content that I want to make that's longer than 10 minutes, but there's people that I watch that make longer videos.
Yeah.
And the thumbnail thing, that would just be a mess. Not only from a creator standpoint and trying to market my videos, but from a viewer standpoint, I don't know what I would click on at that point. Thumbnails are important. Shit is super important.
Ooh, here's a particularly evil one. What if, right, they hide a lot of stuff behind hitting that 1,000 subs, 4,000 watch hours? What if you didn't get 1080p video in like for your video until you reached those? Like you had to upload at 720p or 480p
they
to save
more
bandwidth
restrictions.
Yeah. To save bandwidth
that would be pretty unfair. I mean, that'd just be a rich getting richer kind of thing. Because how can you compete? How can you compete with 1080p and 4K content if you can't even put out your own 1080p content?
Sure.
So there's definitely features that they could get rid of.
Absolutely.
That would piss me off.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is like, you could tell me the comment section is gone tomorrow, and I'd be like, that kind of sucks. And like, I hate that I wouldn't be able to get immediate reactions on my videos, but I'd probably be okay with it. It'd probably be fine.
Tell me you don't enjoy my epic comments on the Your Everyday Nerds.
I do. I absolutely enjoy every comment I get, bro.
Thanks.
Every single one.
Thanks, King.
Love that shit. Please leave comments on this podcast episode. We'd appreciate it. I'm just saying, like, most things I don't care too much in terms of like platform specific things. And I think that's just because I'm at the stage now where, dude, I just want to work on videos. I'm tired of the optimization or the marketing or the thought process behind every little thing. Like, I just want to make content. Whatever happens.
Throwing darts at a wall, bro. See what fucking see where it lands. I get you. What did you all think of YouTube removing the dislike count? I don't want to say the button, it's the count specifically.
Right. You can still hit it.
Still hit
the dislike button. Creators can still see their dislike ratio.
Just won't be public information anymore. So, what did you think about it? Good, bad, whatever. Let us know down in the comments below. If you're a YouTuber, let us know how your week went. Might be more interesting than ours. I don't know. Throwing it out there that maybe somebody else might have a more interesting perspective than me and Zach. Crazy, I know.
Did they beat Peggle? Because we did.
We did. I beat Peggle. Zach beat Peggle. I finished my second adventure mode playthrough, actually.
Finally, oh, shit. Damn. Right.
Got a higher score than the first one. So,
man, living the life.
Very fun. Anyway, that's it. That's the episode.
I've been Zach.
And I've been Aden.
And thank you for listening to this episode of another YouTube podcast.
Bye-bye.
PogChamp.
Poggers.